playground outside.
Applying university.
East Asian countries, they
Thing related to some subjects.
employ like foreign teachers.
I think it's impossible. Which course do we want to go?
They talk about a lot of like American shows and stuff.
Hi everyone!
Today we're gonna talk about the differences between Hong Kong schools.
And Korean school.
So let's start.
안녕하세요. 오늘은 한국과 홍콩 학교의 차이점에 대해서 알아보려고 합니다.
Hello， 大家好，我哋今日咧就會傾下香港嘅中學同埋韓國嘅中學嘅分別。So let's go.
Let's go!
The first question. Let's just like describe the general schools. What does Hong Kong schools look like, and then what does like Korean schools look like? For Hong Kong, some of them looks like very like pretty on the outside, but then sometimes it's just like they haven't been like renovated for so long. Some of the skin is like coming off the walls. Most of them are very colorful, but some of them are just like plain white. And then they have a playground outside, but normally they're like indoors.
So normally Korean schools are brown or yellowish color. Over half of schools are really old, like before like 50 years, like 30 years. Like in new cities, the schools are really pretty, but like they are really old. So we have outdoor playground. Like good schools have grass on the ground, but like normally most of school has sand on the ground, and like it's for football. And like many schools has like basketball court as well. And we also have indoor, but it's like smaller than outdoor one.
The second question is pressure. Is the pressure bigger in Hong Kong or like bigger in Korea? For Hong Kong, I think people mainly get pressure from the last exam, so like the BSE exam, which is kind of like A-levels exam. Everyone gets like pressure from that, but also the amount of schoolwork in Hong Kong is like really heavy. And then they also have to go to tutorials and stuff.
I think Korean students always get pressure, especially the high school. They have to like compete with the whole student because they always plan to go to university in Seoul. And it's really competitive. Yeah, many students want to go to other college as well. Like most of students want to go to only the main city in Korea.
I think in Hong Kong, it's like we only have 9 or like 8 universities in Hong Kong. And then I saw like a report or something saying that one place in university, 2 point something person going for that place.
What? How?
Because it's like so limited. You have to get like super high grades to get into like university that you want. It's like crazy.
It is. And I heard that like Hong Kong University is really competitive as well.
Yeah. Maybe like the pressure of East Asian countries, they're all like similar.
I think so.
Okay, so the third question is teaching method or mode.
We normally go to academy after school, and we don't really listen to school lessons. It's useless. Also, academy like even help us to apply in university. Students who don't go to academy usually have one-to-one private tutor lesson, or they just listen to the internet lecture.
There's like academy like tutorial centers.
Yeah, tutorial center.
For Hong Kong, it's like, well, I wouldn't say like similar because some teachers are like really good in like different schools and stuff. But like some of them go to tutorial centers like academies and then or like private tutors. And then some of them are just like really good at studying. So like yeah, they just don't need like help at all or get help from like teachers from school. They can like score very high marks. But then for applying to university, it's all from Hong Kong schools. So like there's no like private tutors and stuff.
I feel like it's really different. Because like if you don't go to academy, like tutor center in Korea, it's really hard to get a good mark.
Oh.
Because we cannot study everything with only like school lessons because we have like end of year exam and we also have exam every single term. The exam on every single term is really hard, but it's like made from our school. So it depends on our school lesson. But like for end of year exam is like the thing that I think governments. Question 4
is different ECAs in Hong Kong and then Korea. For ECA, it means extracurricular activities. So like activities you can join from school.
In Korea, I think it's compulsory to attend BCAs. And normally middle school is not compulsory, it's optional. But like in high school, I think the between like first year and second year is compulsory. And we have several activities. Like normally they have reading, dancing, thing related to some subjects like math, science, or something like, but like really
like interesting.
not interesting. I think the most interesting is normally for boys is like football. For girls, it's like dancing.
For Hong Kong, I wouldn't say everything, but you can join a lot of stuff. For example, like you can learn different instruments. You can join a band or something. You can join the choir. My school is a girls' school, so like we don't have all those like boys stuff. But like have like orchestras. like Chinese orchestra and then like symphonic orchestra and stuff. So it's more on the music side. And then there's also like sports side, but that's not really extracurricular, I think.
I think like we have some music, but for high school, Korea have like different kind of high school. We have like music high school and like just normal high school. And so like music high school or like
Performing school, performing arts.
performance.
Is it like Hanmin?
Yeah, those schools have several activities like dancing, acting, or they even have like musical. Number 5, making friends and relationships. In Korea, we can easily make friends, but it's really hard to maintain that friendship. The most. And school bullying is really serious problem in Korea. Everyone knows that like bullying is bad, like but especially in Korea, it's really serious problem, and it always happens to like every school. That's why it's really hard to maintain friendship. We normally have like small groups. People who likes makeup, people who likes K-pop idol, people who like studying like this. Normally if you like K-pop idol, but if you don't like makeup, then it's really hard to join to a group of people who likes makeup.
For Hong Kong, the difficulty of making friends, it's like, I think it depends on, are you like an introvert or an extrovert? For like introverts, maybe like we don't really like talk as much, like we're kind of like shy and stuff. Maybe that's harder, but in general, I think it's fine. Hong Kong people just don't really like to talk to each other. We also have like small groups and stuff, and then maybe like bullying. But for Hong Kong, ones that knows like we don't really do bullying, at least for like girls' schools maybe. We do mental competition. Maybe we look like friends, but we're actually like rivals.
Oh,
So like yeah, in Hong Kong it's like that, which is like intense.
Oh, it's really different to Korea. Because like in Korea, we can actually tell that they're not friends if they're like competitors. Many girls, many boys
We're talking behind their back.
behind them.
The sixth question, I guess. Facilities and resources. For Hong Kong, just a classroom and then tables, chairs, and then like a projector and then a whiteboard. We don't really use smart boards, but there are a few of them in my school. Yeah, we mainly use whiteboards and then a computer and stuff. It's like pretty simple, but like the necessaries.
Korea, we also have table and chair. Before COVID, we had like part. During COVID, we cannot like sit together. Just like each one table. We use projector, but we don't really use smart screen. But we normally have TV and then projector, and we normally have like no whiteboard. We use like green board.
Blackboard,
No screen.
but it's blackboard, right?
Yeah, it's blackboard, but it's green.
Like you use chalk to like.
Chalk, yeah, but it's green. Next.
Is Korea better or Hong Kong better? Generally for Hong Kong, there are more foreigners. For schools, some of them will employ like foreign teachers. For example, like from the UK or from the US to teach you English. And then for other languages, I know some schools can learn like French or like Spanish and stuff. And then they'll like employ French or Spanish to like teach you.
I think like it's similar to Korea. We normally have for a teacher, normally America, but only for primary school. We have a lot of international schools because we learn Chinese and Japanese, and it's compulsory in middle school. So some schools has like real Chinese and Japanese teacher, but normally they don't. And high school, we have like several high schools, but high schools only do humanities. They have like different part of language classes. So normally they have French, German, English, and Japanese, I think. For example, if it's like German class, then we speak German there and like learn German, and like also we take tests, end of year test, maybe second language in second. I'm not sure.
School fee. How much is the school fee in Korea and Hong Kong?
Normally 0.
Same for Hong Kong. The government pays it.
Yeah, government.
But then
pays
like I think we have 4 different categories of school. The government pays it all, or the parents have to pay a little bit, or the parents pays it all. Mostly the schools that have like a better like quality, like they have like better education, more famous, are the ones that parents pay some, or the parents pays all of the school fee.
it. Oh, like public school and primary school.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive in Hong Kong, I would say. It's like 30,000 for a year for my school. It's almost 40,000 for a year, which is like
4,000 pounds. 600만 원. In Korea, we also have like several types of schools. But normally schools that has only like smart people or like science school, they are normally private schools. But most of schools are public school. I think middle school and primary school is most of them are government owned. Many high schools are private, but they don't have really like high tuition fees.
The ninth question. School rules.
Oh, I think it's like a bit strict. Our school was like, we cannot dye our hair, cannot put our makeup on, but only for the first year. But like in high school, we can put makeup on. We normally like wear our school uniform. We cannot wear other clothes like hoodie on it. But like some school allows it. But our school is really strict. Our skirts are really, really long. Our school rules is like underneath. I think it's impossible. No one does that. Everyone cuts their skirts like into like really like short mini skirts. Seniors care about our school rules than our teachers. They normally care about our makeup or short skirts. So if you're in the first year, then we cannot wear any short skirts or like put makeup on. The senior will think that they're a bit weird. They are more strict than teachers.
I think it's similar in Hong Kong, like no hair dyeing, no nails, no makeup. For skirts, we're like knee length, but obviously no one does that. For socks, you cannot have logos on it because it's not part of a uniform. And then we have to tie our hair up. We have to tie them up in a ponytail or like any hairstyles, just like hair up. Yeah, it's really strict. But it's different from international school because like I know for international school, they can like dye their hair, paint nails, makeup and stuff. I think maybe Hong Kong is more strict.
Yeah, I think so. At least you can wear any socks you want.
The 10th question. Different subjects or electives.
We have to choose what Korean and like which course do we want to go, because we have to choose between STEM subjects or humanities. We cannot mix them together. We have to choose like in one way. Normally they can mix it. We call like 이과, 문과. 이과 is for only STEM subjects. Like 문과 is like literature and like humanities.
理科文科.
Oh, right. Korean, English, math is compulsory. We can choose biology, chemistry, physics, and science. Is it earth science? Yeah, 지구과. For humanity subject, we have history, East Asia history, economics, and business. People who take STEM, you have to attend more math course than other humanity people. Like we have math ka and math na. It's for final exam. People who take STEMs have to do differentiation and integration, and people who take humanity does not.
For Hong Kong, Chinese, English, maths, and LS are compulsory. LS is general studies. But then they changed their name now, so I forgot. I'll like put it on the screen somewhere. And then we have to choose 3 electives. For STEM, we have physics, chemistry, biology. For humanities, it's like history, geography, English literature, Chinese literature, computer science, and then economics, business, TNL, which is like cooking and stuff, like nutrition and stuff. Yeah, I think I missed some, but like we have a lot to like choose from.
Oh, can I add more? I remember that Korean students take 7 subjects. I think it's 5, but my friend said he's doing 7.
At least for Hong Kong, we can mix STEM and humanities.
I think it's 11.
School culture.
Most of students like lunchtime. Many students run to lunchtime, but we can still skip it. But I think Korean lunchtime foods are like really good. My previous school was really good. And we usually have delicious food on Wednesday. I think it's for all schools. Like Wednesday is the best. When we have like sports day. Oh yeah, we have sports day in May. Like we divide into like 2 teams, like white and blue.
Like the flag.
Yeah, like the flag. My tutor class for that One Piece.
One Piece?
Yeah, do you know like One Piece anime?
Yeah,
we wear that outfit. And like some wear like jail outfit and some wear like animal pajamas.
Well, I guess there's also like groups too, but it's more on like, you know, for Hong Kong we have like Kong girls. They like follow the trends and then a lot of followers on Instagram. Just girls that talk about everything, and then some of them are kind of like ABC, so like American born Chinese. They talk about a lot of like American shows and stuff, and then they're really good at English. But like for school events, we have Sports Day, which is in January, Swimming Gala, which is in September.
Similar to Hong girls, we don't really use this word. Older people who want to call this group is like insa and asa. It's like insider, outsider. Like insider is like people who has like a lot of friends. Outsider is like who cannot involve their conversation and does not have many friends. And we have also like 일진, people who bully or like hang out with friends, but like they normally like smoke or drink alcohol in young age. It's like really bad word, but like we have 찐따 and 왕따. 찐따 is like similar to outsider. 왕따 is the person who got bullied.
That's all for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed it and also learned a little bit more on like Hong Kong high school and then Korean high school. If you want to see more videos like this, comment below, I guess. But yeah, that's it